been 10 years. I'm not who I used to be.
Yeah, no Sherlock.
Now look, I for one am not surprised that Obi-Wan starts this show as a broken man. Consider all he went through. He loses his friend and mentor and was powerless to stop. Then his pupil becomes instrumental, bringing down the Jedi Order. Dude's like a brother to him. He takes him out, leaves him for dead. He's gonna carry a lot of that with him for a long time. What were the series of events that charted his transformation? The man he was that fateful night, the Jedi Master, legendary OG that Princess Leia reaches out to as her only hope.
And on top of that,
you don't lure back an actor like Ewan McGregor to just rehash the same role that he did before. You're gonna want to chew a little bit more meat on that bone. Alright, all good then. So what could go wrong? Well, with Disney, everything. The show kicks off with Order 66 in full swing, and it's a solid bit of action, well crafted. Kinda takes me back to those Knights of the Old Republic cutscenes. Man, I love those cutscenes. Now that's some real Star Wars. Right there. You see a female Jedi. Yes, she's a female. Leading a group of kids to safety.
good luck with that.
As far as openings go, this one had my full attention. As she pirouettes and turns like she was an offspring of Darth Maul himself. Only better looking. Speaking of looks, it struck me as kinda weird that he didn't take this opportunity to make her one of the millions of species that inhabit the Star Wars galaxy, aiming instead just to have her portrayed as a regular POC. Guessing the writers felt it was more important.
Reflecting the people you see in the real world in your fantasy
We
world.
flash forward 10 years and the hunt for the Jedi continues. Some Inquisitors landing on Tatooine, two of which are alien, and Mel coincidentally. Faces looking like they've been dipped in Amica cream.
Sir, if you could just answer
I'm
the
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry.
And the third, you've guessed it, straight up female POC.
Reflecting the people you see in the real world in your fantasy world.
So they casually make their way to the nearest bar. You see they've been tipped off that there's a Jedi hiding on this planet, spouting a monologue that honestly seemed to last an eternity. They cleverly managed to out the Jedi from hiding.
There.
Now, I never understood why he held his hand out for so long. I mean, you stopped the knife. Put your hand down. What are you waiting for? Round of applause? It's almost as if he wanted to be caught. This guy to have been on the run for 10 years? Frankly, surprised he's lasted this long. Anyway, the dude attempts to make an escape.
You'll never find us all.
Damn, if only you had a lightsaber, you'd been able to have blocked that hugely telegraphed attack. Thankfully, her fellow Inquisitor is here to save the day. Wait, what? He does what? Yep. Herein lies my first issue with the show. There's no singular motive established here between the Inquisitors. Are they out to annihilate all Jedi? Or merely capture them, to question them on the whereabouts of a particular Jedi? It serves to create confusion amongst casual audiences, demonstrating just how ineffective these three are at working to make him appear just that little bit less of an overall threat. What if the primary mission was to find the whereabouts of her? What if it's the Jedi who, after being exposed, sparks his lightsaber up What if he goes to strike the Grand Inquisitor? It's Reva who uses the Force to stop him mere millimeters away from him. Shows how strong she is in the Force. Shows how confident the Grand Inquisitor is in his team. It'll be a cool nod to that scene back in Return of the Jedi. And at the very least, it would make this guy look a little more formal as a Jedi instead of coming across like a glorified street magician.
What's in your hands?
Nothing, I
Open your
swear.
hands.
All right.
Oh, what are you, a comedian?
Anyway, he gets away by lowering some drapes in their path. I'll do it every time.
It's the texture, the weight of the material.
Yeah, whatever. Finally, we get a look at the man himself. Now look, I get it, really. He's picked the most low-profile job he could find. It's not like he's gonna apply for town mayor or bodyguard or anything like that. So again, completely in the realm of plausibility. But I must say, if that meat still looks that fresh, been out in the desert for even a day, the heck am I putting it in my mouth? Point is, he's living a mundane life day to day, dropping in every now and again to keep an eye on Luke, make sure he's alright. So far, so expected. But then the show takes an unexpected turn as a young Leia makes a surprise appearance. Yes, I said surprise. Look, I didn't keep up with the rumors and spoilers, and that's fine. I mean, obviously he needs a good enough reason to go off planet. And Leia, well, she's as good as a reason gets. Naturally, as is the case with Disney, things were a lot worse than they seemed. See, whilst Obi-Wan went from impatient Padawan to Jedi Master,
Hello there.
to current day broken man syndrome sufferer, to eventually the OG of A New Hope, Leia gets to practically be the same Leia throughout her entire life. No stories here of a shy, young, unassuming girl who, through hardships in life, develops the skills to see her eventually become the awesome, not to mention fearless leader that we know she will become. Nope, she was practically born good to go.
Why'd you put her in charge?
Lest we forget,
She's as important as he is.
Indeed.
keeping in mind Luke friggin' Skywalker, you know, the central character in the entire original trilogy, is in the barely blink and you'll miss it cameo, so obscured the actor can't even use it for his showreel. While Leia here gets co-starring lead. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Anyway,
You know, my father says they never let you leave this planet. They don't want anybody to know about you because you're not one of us. You're not even a real Organa.
one job, Bail Organa. One freaking job. Keep the child safe. Keep the child's identity under wraps. Okay, technically that's 2. Anywho, we next see her out in the woods, unsupervised for some reason, when this happens.
Hello, Princess.
Why are you here?
Just waiting
For what?
for you.
Quick and simple. That's how it should have been. However, unfortunately, we're treated to the worst chase scene ever. Since the last worst chase scene ever, ironically. Someone in Lucasfilm is trying to sabotage the company. I'm convinced.
You don't care if he's okay. You care if he's showing.
It's my responsibility, Owen.
Well, I'm his uncle.
We talked about this. When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father.
Yeah, dude kinda has a point. But again, they could have gone in a different direction. Maybe they occasionally meet up in secret to trade information on what's going on in the galaxy. With the hunt for the Jedi, things they've heard, rumors. Owen informs Obi-Wan that the Inquisitors are here, looking for a Jedi. Found him, but he managed to escape, so he's out there somewhere. Needs to be on his guard, needs to watch his back. That way, when the Inquisitors do turn up, he'll be like, whatever you do, don't come out and rescue me. Stay hidden. The survival of Luke is way more important than I. That way, it's more of an heroic moment. Self-sacrifice. You know, the themes that ran through the original trilogy. And so we see Obi-Wan wrestle with whether or not he should do the right thing. Or do the right thing. Nope, that's not what we get.
We need to know where he is. You will be rewarded well.
Or you'll be punished.
Riva!
Hands go first.
And here we have the return of Reva, aka the third sister, along with her partner in crime, who doesn't get a name, so let's just call him Injustice for Han. Now what strikes you as kind of odd is that one is dressed up to look, well, intimidating, whilst the other's the type of girl you'd expect to bump into at a North London rave, which is, you know, fine if you're shooting a movie about London. This is a galaxy far, far away. She's playing one of the key villains. This was an opportunity Disney had to really come up with an iconic design, something that's fair for women, young girls would want to dress up as at convention. But then I guess if they did that, they wouldn't be
Reflecting the people you see in the real world in your fantasy world.
Now the character of Reva has something of a short fuse, and it doesn't take much for it to go off.
Under the Empire's
Meanwhile, this dude's character's like, nah, Reva, that wasn't very nice now, was it? We don't want to harm the nice people, okay? We just want to find the Jedi and be on our way. The whole thing is just, I don't know.
There's a Jedi hiding on this planet. We need to know where he is.
Thing is, nobody knows anything apart from that one guy. But look, there's no way of them ever knowing.
You know something?
Oh, come on. How? Is it the way he stood? Really? What gave it away? Because he doesn't look like an extra? How would you even know?
Tell me where the Jedi is, or this man and his family die!
Anyway, she tries to intimidate him, stands his ground. She doesn't like that. And then steps in Justice for Han to break it all up. Why? No, seriously, why? Didn't anybody inform him?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Clearly they didn't.
Anyway, the two walk off and have a little tete-a-tete. Get a little backstory as to why the character of Reva is, well, so angry all the time.
Tell me where the Jedi is!
Actually, we don't get an explanation why she's angry all the time. Maybe she wanted a cooler costume. Maybe Disney, in their infinite wisdom, decided, rather than go against an apparent stereotype towards black women, highlighted in this Forbes article dated 2019, they would instead triple down and enforce it. Yay for black women.
You still want Kenobi? What is it you think you will gain by capturing him?
When I'm old.
Yeah.
Later. Master. I thought I saw you in town, but I wasn't sure.
You're making some kind of mistake.
I'm sorry, my name is Nari. There's no mistake.
Wait, you had that thing on you the whole friggin' time and you didn't use it? Are you kidding me?
You must leave. You'll draw too much attention.
But I have nowhere to go. They're hunting me.
Damn, sounds like the dude's in a tight pickle. Come on, think, everyone, think.
Take this. Walk into the middle of the desert and bury it in the ground. The time of the Jedi is over.
Hold on.
Flashback.
We talked about this. When the time comes, he must be trained.
End of flashback.
And then we have the worst bit of advice he could have ever given him.
Go back to the town. Let it go.
So, to be clear, the Inquisitors are on the planet. They know who he is. They know his face. They know he's a Jedi. The townsfolk know he's a Jedi. They know his face. This woman lost her hand just for opening her mouth. And your advice is for him to go back there unarmed? Oh, man. Let's hope he doesn't take you. Damn, Obi-Wan. That's cold. It's Bail Organa reaching out to Obi-Wan for help finding his kidnapped daughter. Kinda like Leia herself will go on to eventually do. Too late to run the old...
sorry mate, you got the wrong number.
He resorts to classic deflection.
What about the Senate?
And the remaining Jedi will be hunted down and defeated.
Yeah, maybe not today.
Well, your guard then.
What, you mean these guys? Fat lot of good they did.
Or a bounty hunter.
Oh, like this guy. He's in worse shape than you, mate.
Only you know how important she really is, Obi-Wan.
I.e., quit stalling and put your robe back on.
My duty is to the boy.
What about your duty to his sister?
Hang on.
What did he say?
Flashback.
My wife and I will take the girl. We've always talked of adopting a baby girl. She will be loved with us.
Yeah, just not safe.
End of flashback.
What is the actual cheek of the audacity that this dude here, his sheer incompetence as a guardian, only made it public knowledge that she's not really his, exposing the truth to who knows how many people, but she ends up getting kidnapped under his watch. Instead of owning it, he has the cheek to turn around to Obi-Wan and be like, you have an obligation? No.
Find someone else. She'll be better off.
Yeah, well, that being said, he still should have went. What happened to you, dude?
Soon after.
She's headed for Dayu. They hid their signature behind a freight
Yeah,
transport.
you can't blame the dude for being persistent. Pays off too. We next see him back in the desert, digging up his old lightsaber. Guess at some point he took his own advice. Now, sure, it would have been pretty cool, to see him levitated up out of the ground, the way that Rey buried her. But then I guess he's just not at her level yet.
Flawless.
We then find that the person behind the kidnapping was none other than... Reva, aka the third sister. Why? Because later we'll find out she apparently found a link between the girl and Kenobi. Surely that would mean she would know about the link between Kenobi and the boy. What exactly is the link she found between them? So many questions.
Too many questions. There's too many questions. There's just too many.
We then see Obi-Wan finally about to take off on his rescue mission. But in surely one of the most dumbest things we've seen on the show so far. We've seen a few. After paying his way to the woman, he flashes his lightsaber for all to see. Now look, I understand why they did this. It's supposed to be that, yes, he's gonna do it, he's actually gonna go on the mission. We already knew he was gonna go on a mission. We just seen the dude dig up his lightsaber in the desert. So naturally, he's going to be wearing it. Second, clearly that woman got to see it. She's not gonna tell the Inquisitors. If nothing else, it'll ensure she keeps both her hands. It's just a rookie move, man. Expected it more from this guy, not a seasoned vet like you. What happened? So here we are, episode 2. Obi-Wan has reached the planet and has set out to track down Leia, long until he's approached by a... human. Nothing alien about her at all. Well, maybe her hair. Did I mention she was a drug dealer?
Let's clap for for diversity.
She drops a jar of, I don't know, space heroin in his pocket, shares a pearl of wisdom, then moves on. Next on the checklist, we have little Wayne, who tells him he can take him to a Jedi who helps people. Sounds too good to be true.
Spoiler.
It is. Not only a fraud, but he's about as trustworthy as today's media.
Reflecting the people you see in the real world in your fantasy world.
After Obi-Wan exposes him, the guy points him to another location, which Obi-Wan infiltrates in a nifty disguise. Not long before he's finally tracked down Leia's location. Or has he? Well, at least he's found the kidnappers, right?
I didn't know that Jedi could bleed. You're bleeding all over my floor.
Well, everybody bleeds.
Hold up. What does that mean? What does that even mean? It's almost like the scriptwriters were desperate to reference that iconic moment from Breaking Bad. They didn't know what dialogue to put in there, so they just went with whatever popped into their brain on the day. Everybody bleeds. I don't see anybody bleeding. I think it's bleeding riots. You go and find another. Eventually, he finds the location of Leia. For real this time.
Wait! Let go of me!
Wait!
Who are you?
Your father sent me. I'm here to help you.
And with that, they make their escape. Once outside, Obi-Wan foolishly ditches the excellent disguise he had. Why?
Is that you're a Jedi?
Quiet.
Meanwhile,
Where is he?
Enter the Grand Inquisitor, who's understandably not happy about the whole, kidnap thing going on behind his back. He opts to inform Reva of his disappointment.
Whatever power you are craving, it will not change what you are.
And what is that?
The least of us.
Is it just me, or is there anybody else getting shades of Nosferatu from this guy? No? I know some people have likened the look more to dear old Uncle Fester than anything else. Either way, it's a far cry from how George himself depicted the race on screen. Creative license or creative laziness, you decide. Anyway, Count Inquisitor tells Reva to clock out early, as he's going to be one who's going to bring Obi-Wan in. Reva's like, okay. But as soon as he turned his back, she's put a hit out on our boy Obi-Wan.
Bounty hunter on this planet to know Kenobi is here.
Oh boy. And so the word gets sent out. Everyone from your local mercenaries to bounty hunters to what is...
Thank you! Let's clap for diversity. And dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Yes.
I understood that reference.
Thank you! Let's clap for diversity. And dinosaurs.
Things go from bad to worse for Obi-Wan. He quickly realizes his video profile has been shared everywhere. It's not long until it's had more views than your average Amber Heard court snippet.
My dog stepped on a bee.
Yep, no mistake, Obi-Wan. It'll take a lot more than burying your lightsaber to get you out of this. I bet you sure wish you'd kept that great disguise you had now. I guess even in a galaxy far, far away, hindsight is still 20/20. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, quickly sets about laying down some ground rules.
From now on, you'll do exactly as you're told. Do you understand?
a few moments later.
Can I try this one instead?
Half the city is looking for you. Put this on.
Actually, dude, it was your pick that was being shown around, FYI.
Yeah, little green cape. You don't need those. And the gloves. From now on, you'll do exactly as you're told. Do you understand?
Now, I don't know what part of do you understand she didn't understand. But clearly, she doesn't understand. I have a suspicion her rebellion is only just beginning.
Why aren't you using your lightsaber?
Ah, yes, that'll be the old subverting expectations thing. Sort of anti-trope rule that modern day entertainment has embraced so wholeheartedly that it's actually become a trope itself. We expect it every single time. Who's laughing now?
Maybe it's because you're not really a Jedi. I read that Jedi can make things float. Make me float.
Do it.
What?
I want to float.
Do it.
No.
Because you can't.
Like I said, evidently she doesn't understand. But then again, she is just a child. Or is she?
You think the less you say, the less you give away. But really, it's the opposite.
How old are you?
I will be 80 this July.
Wow. Doesn't look a day over 10. Wonder what makeup she's been using.
Sir, if you could just answer the
sorry.
question.
I'm totally sorry.
It's not long before one of the bad guys catch up with them. Obi-Wan deals with him as best he can.
All you can.
But then there's a small matter of his wrist thingy. Now, rather than simply cover it up, Obi-Wan tries to, I don't know, take it off, maybe change the channel, maybe, I don't know what he's actually. Anyway, Leia sees it and obviously is a bit freaked out.
What is that? Why is there a picture of you?
Okay, so tell her the truth. Tell her the bad guys who kidnapped her are looking for you both. And they have a picture of you and one of the bad guys. That's it. Or say nothing at all.
It's your show. You did lie.
Leia.
That's what you were hiding. You're the reason I'm here. They took me to get to you.
Which is technically true. Oh, wow, she really is smart.
Did my father even send you? You aren't a Jedi.
Your father is a very old friend.
I don't believe you.
To be fair, I'm watching the show from the outside and I don't believe it. And she's off. So ensues another chase scene. Even managing to outdo the last one. I mean, check this out.
Hello, Tony. I think we might use a video replay here.
Super, Ralph. Let's do that.
Oh, yes!
Come on, dude, you're not even trying. So this all stretches on for a bit.
Here we go!
Obi-Wan is chasing Leia, mercenaries are chasing Obi-Wan, Reva is chasing... Oh, I have no clue what Reva is chasing. Relevance? Maybe? Fame? Clout?
It's me, Mario!
So the chase goes on and on until we get to the point where Leia, trying to escape from Obi-Wan, who's trying to save her, hurls herself off a building to get to the other side.
No!
Now, naturally, Leia falls and Obi-Wan reaches out his hand, uses the Force to stop her from falling to her death. Tries with all his might. Eventually, he does it. He's successful. Leia. Now, there are two reasons why this scene was completely pointless. At no point in time have we ever seen Obi-Wan attempt and fail to use the Force to do anything up until this point in time. Which means there was zero setup. Without a setup, there can be no payoff. Two, this is Leia we're talking about here. The character is so important to Disney that even when she should have died, as far as the natural progression of the story is concerned, they kept her alive in a way that I still don't understand to this day.
And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree.
Now, had it been the other twin that was in this very same predicament, I would suspect things would have turned out a little bit more differently.
No!
Now there are inquisiting people after us. If somebody is offering us help, I think we should take it. Now come on.
From now on, you'll do exactly as you're told. Do you understand?
What now?
Wow, so much respect, admiration, reverence, gratitude, almost overwhelming.
Nothing, you just remind me of someone.
Was your friend a Jedi too?
No, she was a leader. She died a long time ago.
Seems like every time he remembers Padme, there seems to be this weird thing, weird zone. Kind of like he remembers things happen different. Hello there. Fondly, as if they spent all this time together. Even the third episode on picking his obviously he spent most of his time with Anakin, and he spent most of his time with Padme, naturally. Almost as if the writers never watched the prequels at all. That'd be stupid, wouldn't it? Anywho, enter Reva. This is it. The epic confrontation between the two, teased throughout the entirety of 2 episodes, all come down to this moment. And what do we get? We get Obi-Wan fumbling over a lightsaber, looking at it like he doesn't even know how to switch it on, let alone fight with it. I mean, what?
You know how to use that thing?
The pointy end goes into the other man.
Well, please somebody tell this guy like he ain't got a clue. Then we have this moment, which I honestly can't believe they had the balls to even attempt to mirror the epic psychological confrontation between Luke and Darth Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. Now, that scene worked for a plethora of reasons. For a start, Vader had 6 years across 3 movies to cement his status as a formidable villain. Reva's been on the screen for all of 5 minutes, yet Disney framed it to imply the stakes are equal. equally as high. Surely, the only thing that's high, the creative team behind it all.
Sheer hubris.
I'm just going to take you to me. Lord Vader will be pleased. You didn't know. He's alive, Obi-Wan. Anakin Skywalker is alive.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Flashback.
Have done well, my new apprentice. Now, Lord Vader, go and bring peace to the Empire.
End of flashback.
Oh boy. How did this even get past editing? It's like the script and the storyline was scribbled in crayon and then improvised on a day of shooting because no one could figure out what was actually going on. Now I'm hearing the writers didn't even watch Revenge of the Sith. That's not just insulting fans, that's insulting you, the viewer, who clearly they don't care about. But that's what happens when you have the wrong people in the wrong place at the wrong time, spearheading these projects. Conventional storytelling takes a backseat to political messaging. Characters we grew up loving, inspired us, is collateral damage. And dare we open our mouths in protest?
No, you're still holding on! Let go!
Yeah, sure wish you would, Disney. Oh, and as for this really dumb and grating
Reflecting the people you see in the real world in your fantasy world.
line of thinking, it doesn't take the IQ of a mushroom to figure out that the more your fantasy world is reflecting the real world, is the less your fantasy world is a fantasy world. Don't expect you to understand or even care. This series is proof of the fact. Speaking of, you see, this guy here, this isn't Obi-Wan Kenobi. In the eyes of Lucasfilm, this is George Lucas. And everything his legacy stood for. This is Kathleen Kennedy.
What is it you think you will gain?
When I'm old.
And this is the fans.
Boom, boom, boom.